What's up, everybody? My name's Anthony from Press Start, and this is an old segment that we're breathing new life into. Welcome to Creature Feature. How well do you think you'd fare in a post-nuclear wasteland? Well, if you ever run into any of these terrible beasties, the over-under on your survival isn't looking too good. Of course, I'm referring to the hulking Deathclaws of the Fallout series. The Deathclaws are as deadly as their name implies. Most of these mutated chameleons have thankfully lost their ability to blend in with their environment due to decades and even centuries of exposure to radiation. Throw in some forced evolutionary virus generously donated by the master, and you have one tough reptile, and they don't joke around. First of all, these earth-colored bad boys resemble a demon more than the lizard that they mutated from. One would think that a creature like the Deathclaw, who stands at around 9 or 10 feet tall on average, would be easy to run away from, but don't let its size fool you. These guys can run ridiculously fast, and you may find them feasting on Vault Dweller sushi within seconds. That's okay, one might say, confidently. I'm wearing a full suit of T-51B power armor. See, Deathclaws get their name from their claws, which can tear through even the best armor as if it were tinfoil. Regardless of how well protected you think you are, the best strategy for dealing with a Deathclaw that doesn't involve avoiding them is having the necessary firepower to take it down before it can even detect your presence, let alone touch you. In the original Fallout, the Vault Dweller is the first of many playable characters in the Fallout universe unfortunate enough to stand toe-to-toe with not one, but several Deathclaws. The first Deathclaw is encountered when the Vault Dweller and his or her entourage accept a job from the Fargo traders of the hub to look into the disappearance of caravans. Butch Harris, the owner of the trading company, admits to hearing many different theories as to what happened to the caravans. One of these is of a fabled creature, shrouded in mystery in local folklore, the Deathclaw. Through conversation and investigation, the Vault Dweller learns about one of their true weaknesses, which is the eyes. Shooting a Deathclaw in the eyes is the best thing to do in the event of an altercation. Eventually, the investigation leads to the group meeting Slappy, a local lunatic who somehow is the only person who faced the Deathclaw and lived to tell the tale. Through a conversation straight out of a Lovecraft novel, players are taken to a cave in which the purportedly mythical creature resides. The player and party are then tasked with killing the colossal lizard, a feat that doesn't come very easily, shortly before the halfway point of the game. Jump 80 years after the events of the first Fallout, and let's take a look at Deathclaws in the aptly titled sequel, Fallout 2. By this point, it is a well-known fact throughout post-apocalyptic California that Deathclaws exist and are as dangerous as they are made out to be. After 80 years of breeding cycles, Deathclaws can be found in random encounters across the wasteland, in packs of 3 to 5 on average. In fact, one woman who owns a diner in Modoc managed to capture one and cook its eggs into omelets for her customers. Now that is one tough lady. Around the halfway point of the game, the Chosen One locates Vault 13, the bunker that players began their journey at in the first Fallout. All this build-up led up to this moment, and inside, players find what they've been looking for. That is, if you call a tribe of non-hostile, intelligent Deathclaws that can speak English, what it was that players were looking for. Yeah, apparently the Enclave, or the remnants of the xenophobic and imperialistic end of the US government, were experimenting on everyone's favorite irradiated reptile to see if they could commandeer them in battle. When the experiments failed after it had been revealed that intelligent Deathclaws were more keen on discussing the literary validity of Kurt Vonnegut than ripping out people's spines through their kneecaps, they escaped the clutches of the Enclave and trekked across the wasteland, where they finally found Vault 13 and took up residence there with what remained of the terrified populace. There, the Chosen One can speak with Gruthar, the pack leader of the intelligent Deathclaws, who is more than happy to supply players and their party with the MacGuffin that they spent the first half of the game searching for. Additionally, players can opt to bring along a hooded figure that resides in the vault as well, named Algoris, inventor of the internet, discoverer of global warming. Oh, wait, that's not right. His name is actually Goris, and is the scholarly type, that is, until the Chosen One finds themselves in a battle. Goris throws off the robe at the start of each encounter, revealing that they are in fact a black-colored Deathclaw. Goris is the albino son of Gruthar, and is actually deadly efficient in combat despite his brain-over-brawn philosophy. Unfortunately, a glitch in the game's code that was never officially patched made a good ending for the Vault 13 Deathclaws impossible, no matter what. The Enclave arrives and massacres them before the end of the game, leaving one vengeful Goris in its wake should players have decided to bring him along. If he was left behind, he was mercilessly slaughtered along with the rest of his kin. In Fallout Tactics, Brotherhood of Steel, we are treated to a new variant of the intelligent Deathclaw, the hairy Deathclaw. These mutated Deathclaws are more matriarchal than their California, Mojave, Capital Wasteland, and Commonwealth counterparts. In addition, this is the first time in a Fallout game in which Deathclaws are a playable species, though that's not saying much because players can take control of 6 different species in Tactics, a first for the franchise as a whole. When Bethesda took control of the Fallout franchise, and created Fallout 3, they kept Deathclaws as deadly an adversary as they had in previous games, but they were no longer integral to the story. Enclave Outposts had some Deathclaws that they controlled through radio waves here and there, but there were no intelligent Deathclaws to have meaningful philosophical conversations with. Additionally, there have been no more official Deathclaw companions in any of the Fallout games thus far. Additionally, their weakness has changed to match the new VAT system. They're still partially blind, but their acute sense of hearing and smell make that setback redundant. Instead, if you want to serve Deathclaw steak, rip into their stomachs with a minigun or a rifle. Want to slow them down to almost a stop? Cripple their legs with a dart gun. You'll usually be rewarded for toppling one of these with a Deathclaw hand. You can use these seemingly worthless items as a crafting component to create the Deathclaw Gauntlet, a glove-based weapon that puts the power of a Deathclaw literally in your hands. This was easily my favorite close quarters weapon in any Fallout game. In Fallout New Vegas, Deathclaws took a backseat to the much deadlier Cazador, but that didn't make them any less threatening. The Mojave Wasteland is practically overrun with Deathclaws, and the batch of new variants found in the game cemented them as a force to be reckoned with in New Vegas. Lastly, Fallout 4 ups the ante on Deathclaw encounters. These titans are much deadlier than before. They run on all fours in combat, appear frequently in the glowing sea, and are now equipped with heavy hitting and insta-kill attacks that, quite frankly, are horrifying to watch, especially from first person. Unlike before, Deathclaws can dodge bullets and can even climb objects in some cases. Players usually first encounter one of these monsters in Concord right after obtaining their first set of T-45D power armor. This encounter is both seen as shocking and exhilarating as you face off against one of the most powerful beasts in the game while the game is giving you a taste of power with one of the more powerful armors obtained and maintained throughout the entirety of Fallout 4. Even more variants of the standard Deathclaw are introduced in this game, too. On top of Alpha Deathclaws, Mother Deathclaws, Deathclaw Babies, and Standard Deathclaws, they must also be on the lookout for Savage Deathclaws, one of which they encounter in the Museum of Witchcraft during the quest The Devil's Due, where players are pitted up against a powerful Berserk Deathclaw that had its egg stolen from it. This thing acts like the spawn of Satan himself, and my only advice is that if you can't sneak around, unleash everything you've got on it. Late into the game, players can come across albino Deathclaws who, unlike Gorus, are actually paler than the standard Deathclaw, and mythic Deathclaws who can and probably will one-shot the sole survivor. Even the mysterious stranger can't kill these horrors in one shot, and they can't be reasoned with through the Wasteland Whisperer perk. If that's not enough, there's also the chameleon Deathclaw who actually regain the ability to change colors based on their mood. So that's great. Additionally, this game allows for the modification of the Deathclaw Gauntlet in that an extra claw is added for extra damage. So that about wraps up the history of the Deathclaws in the Fallout universe. What are some strategies you like to utilize when facing these infamous oversized chameleons? What do you think of the future of Fallout franchise has in store for these reptilian abominations? And which iteration of the Deathclaw is your favorite? And what do you guys think of this segment? Glad we brought it back? Do you want to see more? Let us know in the comment section below. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook.